Hello again. My name is Guido Vervaren and I'm Product Manager Surfaces for Polyvision. And today I'm here to talk to you about just that, surfaces. There are on the market a lot of different writing surfaces available. Look at any web shop and you will see rows and rows of the same pictures, but they all show different pricing, significant price differences either. And that is because the surface material of those whiteboards are different. They can be either painted steel, melamine, glass, or porcelain enamel, and the price differences sit just in that. First, there is painted steel, which is just that. It is a steel sheet which has been coated with a very thin layer of paint. They are by far the cheapest on the market, but that's about the only advantage they really have, because those paints are very soft and they scratch and wear easily, much like car paint that dulls over time or gets keyed. And that's why the erasability in the beginning will be fine, but after a while it will deteriorate, simply because a dull surface does not erase, if at all. You will find that the warranties given on such products are relatively very short. You might be wondering why these samples are here. Well, they are here to illustrate what I just said about painted steel. This is a sample which we tested according to an ISO standard for scratch resistant. With different weight loads going from 10 to 1 Newton, we scratch the surface with a diamond needle. We incolorate it with a dry marker, let it dry, and then erase the dry marker and see which scratch is still incolorated and which is not. And according to the standard, here all scratches are incolorated, all but the 1 Newton. So the painted steel surface here shows a scratch resistance equal to 1 Newton. Painted steel is magnetic, so you can attach magnets, but you need to be very careful with that, because even magnets are harder than the paint and they will scratch. For comparison, this is Polyvision standard ceramic steel. It shows a scratch resistance of 10 newtons according to this ISO standard, which means none of the scratches, not even the 10 Newton scratch, will incolorate. And that is why Polyvision is able to guarantee for a lifetime the surface performance. Next up is melamine. It is also known in the older term called formica. It usually is an HPL core, like you can see in this sample. An HPL means a high pressure laminate onto which a coating of melamine is put. This material is not magnetic unless they would put a steel sheet behind the surface itself. This sample has been tested for wear resistance according to an ASTM international standard, where weighted wheels abrade the surface for 1,000 cycles and the weight on each wheel is 1 kilogram. And as you can see, after that wear resistance test, the entire melamine coating has been abraded off. This is not the normal kind of wear that you would ever see in a normal writing surface application, of course. But when we compare it to standard ceramic steel, you can see how severe this test really is, because even our surface has been abraded, but very slightly only. As it's not really a pragmatic test, it is still a clear indication between the difference of the surface hardness of melamine versus ceramic steel. Last one I'd like to talk about is glass. Glass writing boards are usually thick tempered glass panes with a color painted on the back side of them. It may or may not have a steel sheet laminated to the back as well to make the board magnetic. But then you will need rare earth magnets. Standard magnets will not do. When kept nice and clean, these kind of boards have a very high-end appearance just because they're so nice and shiny. But that goes two ways. The reflection of the surface with an extremely high gloss level may be disturbing. Wear resistance and scratch resistance, just like ceramic steel, are good too. But an impact may shatter this board in 1,000 pieces. Because of its extreme smoothness, it will reflect most anything. And because of its thickness and transparency, the readability of messages written on glass boards is obviously very much poorer than on ceramic steel, which is completely opaque. So, we've been speaking about our competitors, painted steel, melamine, glass. But if you would like to know how Polyvision makes its ceramic steel, then have a look at our previous Polyvision talk. And on the other hand, if you want to know more about erasability and how to take care of your ceramic steel whiteboard, of course, then you will have a look at our next Polyvision talk, so stay tuned.